Hello everybody, Mitch and Mr. Hockey, and today we're going to talk about the Vegas Golden Knights trading defenseman Colin Miller to the Buffalo Sabres in exchange for a second-round pick in 2021 and a fifth-round pick in 2022. Now, the immediate reaction I had to this deal is if the cost to get Colin Miller, a defenseman who's good, like he is, and good skating defenseman, physical, and can put the puck in the net with some assists occasionally. You got him for so cheap. A second-round draft pick in a long time, which could become, if the Sabres keep going into the funk that they're in, this draft pick could get into maybe potentially the mid-30s to mid-40s. But if Buffalo moves forward, then it's almost no cost. And a fifth-round pick is a fifth-round pick. It's not like, oh my goodness, we just gave up a fifth-round pick. It's the chances of it being an impactful player are low. So the price, it's like thinking, well, wait, why couldn't why couldn't other GMs pay this price? Because it seems like a really low price. I have a potential answer, maybe why other GMs didn't want to take the risk. So Miller has 3 years left on his current contract that he signed a year ago. It's a 4-year, $15.5 million contract with an annual average value of $3.875 million a season. Now, Colin Miller is 26 years old, so that's good. But he only had 3 goals and 26 assists for 29 points this season. So, in some GM's mind, it's like we're giving our draft picks. If this guy doesn't skate well, if this guy doesn't hit well, then he's rendered worthless, and we're paying him $3.875 million. So that's my best guess of why some GMs were scared off. Other GMs were like, this doesn't really fit in our team. This isn't really what to do. We have a different plan altogether. So I think that's maybe potentially why other GMs didn't do it, but it's still an interesting question. Why didn't other GMs pay this really low cost to get a can-be high-value player? Miller scored the first goal of the 2018 Stanley Cup Finals. In the 2019 Stanley Cup playoffs, Miller had 1 goal and 2 assists for 3 points. Okay, so now let's look at each team's perspective on this trade. Vegas is trying to get rid of some cap because they're really, really tight to what you can have to cap space. They don't have a lot of it left, and they're trying to free up. So if they need some of that, and if they need to sign a free agent defenseman later in the season for a low contract, maybe about $1 million annual average value, like a really low contract, they'll have that room and they won't have to make a trade. Because they already shipped Eric Hall off to the Hurricanes, so they're trading players, they're moving players to try and help their salary cap issue. Now, based on Vegas depth chart, I assigned a defenseman based on what I looked on the internet and based how I've seen them play and based on how I think it should go. So first pairing is Nate Schmidt and Derek Engelland. Second pairing is Brady McNabb and Chase Theodore. Third pairing is Jimmy Schultz and Nick Holden. And the extra is John Merrill. And that potentially leaves a hole in the defense because you still need to sign Nate Schmidt to a new contract. He's a restricted free agent. And if so, you've already traded one defenseman. Maybe did Vegas maybe commit too much money to forwards last season. I mean, they look at the forwards that they're paying right now. They have William Karlsson, Max Pacioretty, Jonathan Marchessault, who's going to need a raise soon, Mark Stone. There's a lot of forwards, and they have to pick out the ones forwards that they can trade to save cap space, because they're trading they traded one of the most important parts of the defense, and now it looks like they're going to have a weak defense. And Nate Schmidt and Marc-Andre Fleury need new contracts, and you need money there, and who you're going to trade. So it could be a potential screw-up for Vegas. From Buffalo's side of this trade, I love this trade if I was a Buffalo Sabres fan, but I'm not, and I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan. They're in the same division, so I'm not looking forward to having Max Stone and Jonathan Drouin have to go through Colin Miller, Rasmus Ristolainen, and company when they try to score a goal when they're playing. But Buffalo's defense looks like this: Rasmus Ristolainen and Dahlin, Jake on the first pairing. On the second pairing, Jake McCabe and Miller. And on the third pairing, Zach Bogosian and Marco Scandella. And the extra defenseman is Brandon Montour. And that sounds like a defense pairing that can use a bit of improvement, but is really good. And this sounds like a defense pairing that, if matched up against the Carolina Hurricanes, if these two teams go head-to-head, the same way the Columbus Blue Jackets, Carolina Hurricanes, and Canadiens had that little battle at the end of the season, if Buffalo gets into this, their defense could potentially hold them in, and that could be big. Their salary cap situation makes it sound like a cheat. They have at the time before the trade, they have $15 million. No, before the trade they had $18 million. They have $15 million in salary cap space that they can spend on free agents, and so that is a huge amount of space. And if I was a free agent, maybe I would sign a contract in Buffalo. I mean, look how good they're gonna. But the one thing they will have to change is Jack Eichel needs to score more goals. He needs to start trying to look for that perfect pass right to the center or wherever it goes. He needs to score goals. If Colin Miller can get his terrific breakout pass, that's the one offensive thing he's good at. His breakout pass. If he can hit Jack Eichel going with speed going into the offensive zone, Jack Eichel could potentially be dangerous on the rush, and that could be really good for Buffalo. So I think there is no doubt here Buffalo emerges the winner of this trade. I mean, they can't lose. Because if he performs good, well, then you win. If he doesn't perform good, then you can ship him, and you've lost nothing, because you get the same value. You could get the same value or better back, and you've basically lost nothing here. And so this is a really good trade for the Sabres, and you've beefed up your defense core line, and you've still got loads of cap to spend. So this is a terrific trade for the Sabres. For the Vegas, it kind of accomplishes a goal, but puts on the task that you have, it puts a little more challenge on those. So that's my viewing of the trade. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends about the channel, and I will see you in the next one.